Oh, hello. Hello, I'm Lynn Weers, and this is,
Lorna Wood.
and if you're celebrating it, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all who celebrate.
Yep. So, we just saw the Lazarus experiment. I just want to call it the Lazarus effect for some reason, but the Lazarus experiment. So, what do you think of this one?
I thought it was okay. It was fine. Let's see. The science was extremely thin. Extremely thin. I can't even remember. It was yesterday we saw it. We didn't just see it. Sometimes that's a fiction.
It's always a fiction.
I like the Bond music. I like the way that the family of the companion now, Martha Jones, is getting filled out. The sort of they're a much more aspirational family than they caught me. I guess caught me. I hope I'm correct with that. Family.
Working class versus is Rose, middle class is Martha, I'd say.
Well, I don't think they've been middle class very long. I think they're Jamaican immigrants, right? I like the way the mom was very strict, and I've seen. I don't really know. The only Jamaican immigrants families I've known were in Atlanta. I didn't know them all that well. They're really into Suzuki. That's why I know them, Suzuki violin. But but I have seen like on Chef sort of caricatures of matriarchal women in that culture. And so this was along the lines of that. And I think I saw a little bit of White Teeth, the video. I haven't read the book. I think we had something similar there. Didn't love that, didn't stick with it. But anyway, so I really like the mother's character. I thought that's probably pretty authentic, or just a slight caricature of an authentic type. So I like that they have a kind of ethnic character to their family, and but yeah, they're really aspirational because the younger sister, who appears to be not as conventionally successful, brainy, and whatever as Martha, is resentful and suspicious, and it's kind of implied that she got her job because of the way she looks, which would make sense if she's in public relations anyway. And of course, she doesn't really kick up a fuss when she doesn't like it, but when the Lazarus man is lecherous and Me Too. So all those dynamics I really liked. The science was utter horseshit, as usual, maybe even more than usual. I like that he was a scorpion. I always like the way they do the monsters, or usually I think they're really good, and the way that he would come after him in these long passages and go up. I thought that was good. It was kind of frenetic.
To me, this felt like a better version of the Wolfman episode, in that it was sort of very formula and a lot of running around. But my big problem with that werewolf episode was how the werewolf really was just a big monster for the most part. I mean, he had the Jesus death at the end. He had one little scene, but we never knew who he was as a person. In this episode, I felt like we really got to know the scientist and sort of what his motives were. And I thought he also worked as an interesting mirror image to the Doctor, since the Doctor also continually cheats death. I mean, this is the 10th time, I think. This is his 10th incarnation. So I thought that was an interesting contrast with Lazarus. And I really like that scene where they're in the church and they're sort of talking about cheating death and all that.
Oh, right. So that actually reminds me of something. So yes, I liked his companion too, and how she was so greedy that she failed to notice that she wouldn't be so welcome once she was 50 years older than he was. And that, two narcissists can't get along. I did think that the ending with the supersonic, I forgot to do research on this, but isn't supersonic sound wave a contradiction in terms? And anyway, there should have been a sonic boom if something was moving faster than speed sound. So that resolution didn't make much sense. I would think a sound wave that was really forceful, like they use on kidney stones or something, would have knocked everyone off that rail.
Perhaps the scorpion's more sensitive to noise. So it's like a dog. Dogs react to really high pitched sounds we can't hear.
Yeah, but the girls did hear them.
Yeah,
the young
but perhaps
ladies
it's a
did hear
greater
them.
amplitude to him.
Whatever. I don't mind. I don't really mind that all this science is hooey. It's hooey on track. It's just hooey. But if you're going to use, it should be totally imaginary. If it's distracting to me, if something's wrong that couldn't possibly work, and it also seems like you're really straining to resolve your plot because you didn't put enough thought into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course the science is silly, but I did like the solution with the organ because it sort of fit with the whole classic horror film motif of the show.
And I noticed does seem to be this weird Phantom of the. Was there a revival of Phantom of the Opera?
3 years ago, 3 years before it was aired, there was the Joel Schumacher one,
which would have been in the West End then later, right?
What?
It would have got.
There was a Joel
England
Schumacher film.
Oh, film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was It may have just gone
to
the
Phantom
West End
of the Opera
London.
is always airing. So.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the musical show moving to the West End. I don't know when
know.
it did. But anyway, because the last episode with the pigs in the tunnels, and was there some singing or something in there somewhere?
Well, Laszlo was watching Talulia perform, and it was very Phantom of the Opera, reading the flower and all that.
Right. So there's that, and then in this one there was the same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
With the organ, with him playing the organ. And that does kind of unify him with the monster too.
Yeah, so I really like the symmetry work there with the Doctor and the monster, because when it started, I was like, oh great, it's going to be some evil mad scientist who turns into a monster and then gets killed. And I thought they made him more interesting than that, which is hard to do considering we see him, devour 4 people if you count the medics. So you really have to work hard to make us care at all about this person. No, I don't think we care about him. We still sympathize with him to a greater extent than I was anticipating.
Yeah, that we could see him as a human being. Not a particularly nice one, but one that you can see how he got to be the way he was and whatever, when he's in the church and everything. And he's talked about his Blitz experience.
He's played by a writer. I think he's played by the guy who wrote The Unquiet Dead, but I'm not positive. But I thought he did a good job as an actor. I also like that scene where he's like, "You're too young to have been at the Blitz," and he says, "Well, so are you." I thought that was clever, and I like that Martha gets to exhibit agency by going like, "I'm sick of just being dragged along. I want to be firmly recognized as a companion." I thought how they've handled that was really good, because of course the Doctor would be reluctant to take on a new companion after the whole Rose heartbreak. So I thought it was very clever how they slowly built that up rather than just going, oh, okay, moving on.
So that the Doctor was really just, as he said, acknowledging what had been true for some time anyway.
Yeah. So I thought that was good.
I like the wealthy people at the they reminded me of wealthy people I've known at other dues and I like seeing their superficiality get cut through by something really serious finally entering their insulated lives.
Yeah. Since I think most of it was at night, I thought the CGI worked better than some other episodes. I mean, it was still fakey, but I thought it was a little more convincing than, say the flying creatures in the episode with Rose and her father, that first one, where I thought they looked really
good. School one?
Not the school one, when Rose goes back.
Oh, yes, right.
Right. I like the concept of those creatures, but they looked really bad. I thought this creature was composited better.
Probably technology had already gotten
2 years.
better and budget had gone up.
Yeah, I'm sure the budget went up after season 1 was such a hit. Let's see, what else about this episode? I agree, I also like the family. I like that they acknowledged the running joke with the mother of the companion constantly hitting the doctor, and the doctor going, "What is it about the mothers?" I thought that was funny.
I think I'm wondering, is that if that was a Torchwood guy who gave the mothers the information? I think that's going to be a mystery running plot line. Yeah,
we'll see. So yeah. And again, I think it's a well-done mystery box, and that we're not constantly angsting about it, but still planting the seeds. Let's hope it's not a bad wolf operative.
Whatever Bad Wolf is, I don't think.
We'll someday find out exactly what Bad Wolf is.
Bad Wolf is just like a cosmic sign or something.
I don't know. It's a sign of roses and the Doctor's connection.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah. One thing I will be curious about to see is, I mean, this guy did invent a machine that can de-age people. And yes, there are some kinks to work out, but, you can work out kinks. So it'd be kind of odd if this machine never mentioned again.
I don't know. I'm not sure you can work it out, and he died, and so I don't know if anyone else knows.
Invented it and go, okay, never mention again. Anyway, so I think I give this episode a 90 B+ to A- because I did really like the interactions between the Doctor and the monster, and I was impressed with how they handled Dr. Lazarus. But I also do recognize that it was very much sort of a formula episode, and that there wasn't anything surprising in it.
Or deeply moving.
No. But yeah, I thought it was, a fun little adventure, but I did think it worked on that level. It seems to be another one that has a pretty meh reputation. Like on IMDb, that's a 6.6 out of 10, which is pretty low for a Doctor Who episode. And if you read the reviews, it's like 4 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 4 out of 10. And I don't think that I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, it's a long way from our very favorite, but I didn't see anything really horribly wrong with it, like In Fear, Hurry, or Quite Dead. More.
Our favorite being Gridlock.
Yeah, or there was one other, or was it the second Christmas episode, the end of it? There was one other that we really liked, although I liked the Gridlock the best. But yeah, there's been a couple that we've.
Yeah, I can't remember what other one you gave an A+. Oh, you really like that one about the group of Who fans who follow him and then they get sucked into that monster.
Oh right, yeah, the one with the little kid who won the contest with them.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that
was good too. Which was another poll. So anyway, that one
was Gridlock was not polarizing, right?
Yeah, no, Gridlock is pretty universally regarded as one of the best. So next up, we are dealing with 42, which is going to be the first one written by Chris Chibnall, which is notable because Chibnall became the showrunner when the female Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker, was cast. So I'll be curious to see. I know he's hated by a lot of people, so I'll be curious to see how.
For that reason?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's obviously those toxic fans, but there's also other reasons they dislike Chibnall. I mean, a video essay just last week came out saying, the episode that should have warned us about Chibnall, and it's this one. So I'll be curious to see how this is because a lot of the episodes I've constantly been hearing are really bad, like Fear Her. I'm like, they're fine. They're not great, but they're fine. Again, Star Trek, their bad episodes are sometimes unwatchable, and I don't think there's been anything. Even The Unquiet Dead was nowhere near unwatchable.
No.
So I'll be curious to see. And then after that, it seems like we're in universally loved territory from then on, if you look at the ratings, including several Hugo-nominated episodes. So we'll see how we do with Chibnall, but I know that at least there's must be much better episodes after that if we don't like Chibnall.
And I would give this one an A-.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Have a good holiday. We'll
Bye.
see you tomorrow or next day.